I know, right?
Yeah, of course. Anyway, so we just went live, and this is technology on the cheap. Um, so people will be sharing their favorite technological tools that are cheap as free. If anybody is a Homestar Runner fan, as I was. So, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Rachel Pearson. I am a woman of many hats, as my lower third pronounces to you. Currently, I am a middle school teacher. I am a sixth grade homeroom teacher, but also teach some fifth, some seventh, and some eighth grade classes. I am also the technology department at my school, so I do all the director stuff like purchasing and whatnot. I'm also the troubleshooter and the tech coach and integration specialist. Um, so many hats I wear, and it's a busy lifetime for me during the school year, but I love every minute of it because it's awesome, and there's no place I would rather be. Um, so why don't we have our two other gentlemen introduce themselves if you want to. I guess I'm not forcing anyone to talk, but go ahead and tell us who you are and what you do, and we'll get to talking about our tools here in a little bit.
All right, I'll go ahead and begin.
George,
Can you hear me
yeah, you go
okay?
first.
Yeah,
Can you hear
I
me
got
okay?
you just fine.
Okay, good. I'm trying a different mic setup this time. So, anyway, my name is George Summers. I'm the K through 8 computer teacher at Our Lady of Mercy School in Merced, California. I also teach a college class in computer applications at Merced Junior College. And I, like you, Rachel, I'm the guy. The job title says computer teacher, but when the internet goes down, they call George. When something breaks, they yell at George, and I have to make all this
Hmm.
happen on an absolute shoestring budget. And so my firewall is open source, and I have to provide all the filtering and stuff
Oh
like that.
wow.
And we're not, that all would come out of my budget, and I'm just scrambling for hardware to provide that, or else we don't get our federal funding. E-rate is what I'm looking for
Mhm.
there. So yeah, I'm very much in the same boat as Rachel. When stuff happens, then I gotta find time to fix it between my weekly classes with classes.
I'm gonna just go ahead and interject there. I went to Disney World with my family, and the first day I was gone, it was a Monday. Got a phone call. The internet's down. What do we do?
Of course,
Oh
it
god.
never breaks when you're there.
I know exactly. So I had to FaceTime with our office manager from the Main Street of Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World, and
Oh,
tell her
that's
which
funny.
thing she had to unplug and replug back in order to reset the modem.
Yeah,
So
if only my administrative secretary knew what FaceTime was, then
yes, that was a
yeah,
benefit.
yeah, it never breaks
Nice.
when you're there. I have a Windows server that always wants to update and then restart. And if I've got a USB hard drive plugged into it, and for some reason that I cannot figure out, when it reboots after the updates at whatever time in the morning it does that, early in the morning, it wants to boot off the hard drive. And there's nothing on the hard drive, so no server, no internet, no, yeah. So it's frustrating. I'm sure we could swap stories.
I was so glad to hear there is somebody else in the same boat as I am.
There is. You are not alone.
Yay!
We feel your pain. If nothing else, this can be a therapy session.
Very true.
Who else we got?
Teresa said that she is going to just lurk and type, so I guess I'm the other one. My name is Chris. So I'm in a weird situation. It's 9:20 in the morning in Taiwan. I've been teaching
Wow.
at
Wow.
this school. Yeah, I know, right? It's American high school, so like American curriculum, like high school in Taiwan. I've been teaching it for the last 5 years, and I'm like literally unemployed right now because I just ended like our school year, and in about 3 weeks I'm about to start working in Northern California. So I'm kind of in between jobs right now. Um, um, the fun thing that here's my nice little story. We had an apartment in Taiwan, and the school like basically pays for our lease. And so since I stopped working at our school, they stopped paying for our lease, and so we had to move out. Our school has like a guest room though, so we moved our entire, like my wife and I moved our entire lives from like our like couple of room apartment to just this one little small guest room at the school, just so we could squat for a couple of weeks while we're waiting to move to California. Um, and so I'm like living at our school, which I bet you can imagine what that would be like if like what you've talked about, like with like being the tech support thing. Now take that, but like you literally don't leave the building
Don't get to
like
leave.
all of the time.
Oh no.
Yeah, like seriously, like I sleep here, and I like I said, I'm not working even at our school technically anymore. But basically, about once or twice each day, I'm still getting iMessages, and I'm still getting like chats of like, hey, how do you fix this? And this kid's iPad is frozen. What am I supposed to do? So like yeah, it's a blast.
Awesome. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and share. Um, we are very fortunate to be able to do um, Chromebooks with our 6th through 8th graders. We're working on expanding that, but it's being a small parochial school. It depends on which fundraisers running this year and if they're going to actually put the funds towards the computers or not. So we are very, very grateful to be able to have Chromebooks for our 6th through 8th graders. And I guess the thing I use, obviously, outside of Google suite of tools, is KidBlog. My kids love to blog, and they love sharing their blogs with people all over the world. And if we have the opportunity, say, to do like a Skype chat with someone or a mystery Skype, and we send them out our blog link, and I got a comment from someone from, even as close by as Minnesota or Michigan. They're like, that's so cool that someone else read what I wrote. And so I'm going to put my hearty stamp of approval on KidBlog, which is free, but you can pay for more if you want. So it's been a great tool for us to use.
I've heard really good things about KidBlog.
I like it because it gives the kids the ability to feel like they're running their own blog, but it also gives me the control of reading everything before I put it out there for the rest of the world to see. Like, are you sure you want to talk about that in this? I think you can fix your spelling a little bit.
Yeah. Is it in its own? I think somebody told me that it's like oftentimes in
Mostly
its own
I
self-contained
would say we're
universe.
semi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we have, well, the past couple of years I've had, like 20, 22 kids in the class. This year I will only have 12. So it'll be, I'm appreciative of the fact that I get to actually build better relationships with them. At the same time, being their homeroom teacher, we're semi-departmentalized, so I only have them for like 4 classes a day, and then the other 4, they have other teachers. So hopefully I can work with the other teachers that they're working with to get more streamlined as far as technology stuff goes. But that's beyond the point right now. So anyway, someone else take the floor.
Rachel, you're at is it a Lutheran school? Is that what I saw on Twitter or
Correct.
something?
Yep.
I had to go spy on you because when you said parochial school, I was like, oh, what? Our school's a Seventh-day Adventist, so I get
Okay.
your
Yeah.
small
Mhm.
Christian school, kind of on that
Yep.
way shoestring, like make your own, right?
Mhm.
If it ain't
Yep. You do
free,
with
it
what
ain't
you can
happening.
find. Very true.
Yeah, we're the first. Well, we were the first, one-to-one iPad school in Taiwan, and actually like the first one-to-one school in like our Adventist school, like worldwide network. Um, and that's kind of been a cool experience, just because like obviously we have a lot of cool tech in the classroom. But our system is a little bit different compared to a lot of other schools because our students own their own devices. Like we just tell them like, you show up with your iPad, we'll give you the textbooks, but it's not now like we own them. So if the kid breaks it, it's his or her problem.
So it's
Because
like on
our
their school
students have
supply
quite a
list.
bit of money. It is their school supply list. Like that's it. Our textbooks are PDF'd, and so yeah, it's kind of been a different challenge. So like as far as like us with our budget side of it, it's kind of weird because like every kid has the iPad. I think for the most part, like when our program started, I think many of the people who were in charge thought that, okay, well, you buy the iPad and then everything else will just kind of fall in. And when you have like a device like that, I mean, it does a lot of cool stuff, but you still got to buy the apps. You need the add-ons. If you want a kid to, type something, they can't type on the screen legitimately. Like you don't want them to type a paper on a screen. So you need to get like the keyboard and this and that. So then there's like the game of trying to like, you can't really mandate it on our end, but like strongly encourage it. And then on the other side, then you have teachers who are like, I want to do this. How do I do this? And you're like, well, there's an app for it. Cool. Can we get it? No, we can't really get it.
I'm a big proponent of keyboarding. I know some high schools are their Google Docs and they have their English classes type their papers on an iPad. I just don't see that as being as a valid. They still need to know how to keyboard. I teach keyboarding. We use Typing Club for that, and I actually set them up with accounts and assign it for homework. The one thing that's not working is the timing. If I say go home and this week do an hour of Typing Club, and I go into the reports, they say, well, I did an hour, but it only shows that I did it for 20 minutes. So I don't know whether that's a Typing Club thing or whether they stared at the computer for 40 minutes. And I said, well, it's actual typing time, the time that you typed. So I don't know. I'm still getting um, used to that. But keyboarding is really important. We're about to go one-to-one. We're about to go Chromebook. We're a Google Apps for Education school, and we're kind of building that direction. We got an all-new computer lab over the Christmas break. Up till then, we had everything from 2-year-old computers to 11-year-old computers.
Yeah.
And I have on my shelf, I'm not kidding, on my shelf right now is a 2001 Bondi Blue all-in-one iMac. And the kids go, what is that? That looks really cool.
Shame on them for getting rid of the colors.
Up until recently, I was using that machine. I had upgraded it so that we could run OS 10.2 or something like that. But yeah, I agree with you. The keyboarding is still an essential skill, and it's something that I reinforce with my students, and that's real important to me.
We do use Typing Club as
So if
well.
we were talking about, oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
If we were talking about because you brought up KidBlog, one that we use, and George, you said that you guys are going to go Chromebook. I don't know if these guys do Chromebook. I know they specifically are iPad. But there's an app that we just started using this year, free app that's called Showbie, and it's spelled dumb. I'm going to put it in the sides.
I've heard of it.
SHOWBIE. Yeah, and it's just like it's kind of like a light learning management. I mean, it's not like, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of like Edmodo or Moodle or any of those. but it's good for like turning this, especially on the iPad. It's really well done for as limited as that device can be a lot of the times. But they have their free accounts. You basically can do everything that you need to, and the guy who owns them is way cool about like working with you, and I think he kind of almost like is wanting to give away free accounts. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think he's like very down with kind of like sharing what he has and trying to get more data and trying to figure out how people are using it and that kind of thing. So
I'm wondering how that compares to G-Class folders, because we use G-Class folders, and I love G-Class folders just for the management piece. And it really is helpful in tracking those assignments. And of course, as Google Classroom comes down the pike, I've seen some demos of that, and I'm trying to see, is that going to be really ready? Is it what we really want? And so I don't know if you've seen either one of those and how the Shobi compares to G-Class folders. I've been really impressed with G-Class folders. It's not. I think I need a little hand holding with my teachers to get it set up. Managing the spreadsheet and everything that initiates the process, and running the script. But beyond that, I mean, it works great. It really does.
Yeah.
And it definitely falls into that on the cheap category that we're discussing. Yeah,
I agree. G-Class folders is great. The other one that I kind of use like hand in hand with that is Doctopus, where they all kind of like work really nice together. G-Class folders is just phenomenal. I think Shobi's, this is a dumb thing to say, but I'm gonna go with it. It's prettier, like the folder system, and like you said, like setting up like a spreadsheet and stuff. I think it can get intimidating to some of your teachers that are like, I don't know how to use anything. So I think the app at least kind of worked for like what we did, but I dislike that program, that Shobi personally. I don't use it for myself, just for my own personal preferences. But I use G-Class folders a lot, but I think I'm a little bit more of a power user than some of my colleagues.
Yeah, and I try and consider, because I run the computer lab, so I basically say, okay, let me try this with the students in the computer lab, and if it's really something that is worthwhile of encouraging the teachers to do, then I will do that. Maybe during a lunch and learn PD, session or something like that I do from time to time. But I always try it out first and see, is this really something that they could get a handle on. Looks like someone's got Google Classroom open. Did you get an invite, Rachel?
Sorry, I just got an invite yesterday, so I have not had a chance to use it very much at all. But I created my classes for next year, so we'll see how it works.
Are you screen sharing?
I was. Is it not
working?
You were?
It didn't show up for me. Well, I mean,
it showed up in the film strip at the bottom. There it is.
How's that?
There you are.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So
it looks kind of.
And what it does is it creates whatever you name your class. It creates a folder in your Google Drive for the name of that class. So it allows you to put in the class name and a section number. So I was just doing. I have 3 computer sections, so I just put computer, and then I put in section 6, and section 7, and section 8. But then when I went back to my Google Drive, all 3 of those folders were just named computer, and I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know which one's which in my drive?
Yeah.
So,
what you can. Go ahead.
What you can do, there's basically gives you a page for each class where you can do announcements, where you can add in files, things from Drive, YouTube videos, or links to other places. Or you can have them or put assignments in here. That's basically what I know about it so far. I haven't played around with it enough to really know what to do.
So the demos that I've seen, basically what happens is you create an assignment, and you can set it so that when the students open it up, it automatically makes a copy, and then appends their first and last name to the end of their assignment. But then here's the problem. You're locked out of the document. While they're working on the document, you cannot collaborate with them. It's not shared out at all.
Oh, man.
That's something I think they're going to need to work on. And then what happens is student works up the assignment, submits the assignment to the teacher. Now the student is locked out, and only the teacher can look at it. And then the teacher can open it, assign grades or whatever, and then it gets graded if you want to do that, and then sent back to the student. I think what's going to have to happen if you want that formative assessment piece, because that's what Google Drive is really good at. If you want the formative assessment piece, what you're going to have to do, this is just my own thinking, at the way it stands right now, and I know it's a demo, is basically you might have like a scheduled draft that said, okay, by this time submit your draft. And they submit the draft of the assignment, and the teacher looks at it, makes some comments, and sends it back to the student, and then the student can keep working on it. So maybe that it's more of a regulated, there can still be that formative assessment, but you got to do it in stages. You can't just jump into the document like you can if it was G-class folders or something, and see if they're working on it, if they saved it in the right folders. So because with G-class folders, they have to make sure they get it in the assignment folder for you to see it, and that's a training that you have to do with the students.
Well,
but while they're working on it, the teacher cannot look at it, and that's, I think, is something they're going to have to work on.
Well, and let's be real, like the game changer on Google Docs, like the thing that made all of us gasp collectively, that made it different than like like an Evernote or any of the Microsoft crap that was offered up to that point, was that live editing, live collaboration. That freaking blew us up. Did it not?
Yeah.
Like so to have like the, here teacher, I'm going to work on this by myself, then hand it over, and then you go work on it by yourself, and then hand it back. Like, that's what I have now, but it's paper.
Yeah.
So like you just killed off the best feature that you have.
You're doing the same thing digitally, and that I think is unfortunate. But I think it's still in beta, and Google's really good about listening to teachers. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to hear that. And there was a good demo by the Google Edcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and if you go on YouTube, look for Google Edcast. They did a really good demo of it, and there's another one out there I can't put my finger on right now, where they were discussing that being one issue. But other than that, it's really easy because you can give the students a code to enroll in your class. So you can set up the class, and you can give them a code, and the code the enrollment piece setting it up is really easy. Mm-hmm. So I guess it depends on what you're doing and how much of that, depending upon the assignment, you want to do. There's no grade book either. It's just you can give them a grade and you can list them list out their grades, but there's no grade book. There's no calculation. It doesn't do numerical to grade value, that kind of thing. So I think it's definitely a good starting point.
I had used Edmodo a little bit. I think I'm one of the few people who just don't get the hype behind Edmodo. I mean, it's free, so that's cool. I like Schoology. I'm kind of hard in their side. But they kind of this looked like with the screenshots that the sharing that you were doing, Rachel, kind of looked kind of similar to how Schoology is set up. But it's interesting, George, like what you said, like kind of underneath it sounds like it's almost like a face, and then underneath is that structure of Drive that we all know, and I don't know if we love it, but at least we know it.
Yeah. I think it'll develop, and I'm glad that they're doing it, because I definitely think it need to be done. I've looked at Schoology, haven't really delved into it too much. I know that's getting a lot of buzz. At the K through 8 level, I'm trying to figure out how much I can really get away with some of that social stuff, and I kind of feel like, well, we're making a Facebook, but that's not my goal, but that's kind of what it looks like,
Yeah.
and then like, wait, we're doing what now?
Well, and then Schoology, I know, had done a pretty good job of like having. It's not as like high functioning as some of the grade books that we use, but just for like getting the job done, I did like Schoology's kind of like their built-in grade books kind of hot. They also have like a lot of cool options for like quizzes. Like if you do like an online quiz,
Yeah.
like besides like the matching and the fill in the blank and stuff like that, they do a pretty decent job with that.
Now I heard that with the Google spreadsheets that they broke a lot of the scripting. Has anyone done the Flubaroo stuff with the new spreadsheets, and does that
I have
work?
not tried yet. I don't know.
Because I'm
I
wondering.
haven't tried Flubaroo. Sorry, I hadn't tried
Okay.
Flubaroo. I know a couple of the things that we're scripting. I mean, like a lot of it's just like it's called what is it, add-ons now. There's a
Add-ons.
couple of things. I think either G-Class or Doctopus, one of those two, look like it disappeared, but it's called add-ons now, and it functions exactly the same.
Okay.
And so I had at least hopes that when they transfer that over on Fluber, would do the same thing, because that's, I mean, talk about like a haiku of a program. That just simple and gets the job done, man.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's not cute, it just does it. Yeah.
Well, I think they extended the time a little bit, but according to Twitter, we were supposed to be done at 8:40 my time, 40 after the hour. So I want to thank you guys. I had a really good time chiming in with you and talking with you about ways that we can find cheap ways to fulfill our technology goals. So I'll encourage everybody to go back to the main video for the demo slam at the end of the Edcamp tonight, and it was super getting to meet you guys, and hopefully we can share more on Twitter and Google Plus in the future.
A real pleasure.
Cool.
Thank you,
Nice to
Rachel
meet you guys, too.
and Chris. This was great.
Have a great day or night.
Yeah, you guys too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye now.